The most effective one is you wash your hands. Yeah? And you use it like you use antimony, tiro, and make sure it goes into your eyeball. If it's correct honey, your eyes will turn red. Yes, your eyeball. Your eyes will turn red. Your eyes will turn red. I did a lecture at one place called IET. So someone asked that question. So then I had the Sidri Yemen honey. I had another brand of honey. And I put it on my eyes for him to see. For about 3 minutes, I could not drive. I just sat in the car because the thing will be coming out. It is most effective. If you go on YouTube, alhamdulillah, one thing we also do, we do training classes on WhatsApp. So the last training course we did was on honey and how to use honey to create products. And one of them was eye drop. If you take honey and there's something called rose water, ROSE, honey, rose water, and use some zamzam. Yeah? Shake it in a bottle. Be putting it in your eyes. Even the most degenerative disease, Allah uses it to cure it. The problem we have, and I'll say this it's a value thing. I have it also. If I say this thing can cure XYZ, but it's 50 naira. Okay, this thing is also 50 naira. It can also cure XYZ, but this one is 10,000 naira. The value-added mind, the capitalistic tendency comes out. Only 10,000, you know, my share. Only 15 naira, only my share. But honey, when you get just simple honey, just make a good honey. Put it. Let us try it from today. I was speaking at somewhere at Isolo or somewhere, and I was speaking, and it was a thing, and there are some doctors also who had a speech, and I had to speak before the doctors, and I could see them when I now mentioned put honey in your eyes. I could see, But these things are actually proved. Even in the Harvard Medical Journal, it talks about the kind of viscosity of honey you can use for eyes. Uveitis, eye ulcers, honey solves most of it. This is a scientific fact. It's not, although we take it from Qala Rasulullah, but this is science now backing. You see, science is delayed. Science will come and prove to you tomorrow that if you eat 7 ajwa dates, nothing will happen to you. But we can't wait for science. We can't wait for science. Because science is the product of human thinking. This is the product of Islamic thinking. So inshallah, as my brother said, we put it in our eyes. If we use it every day, our sight will improve. Or if we have an eye drop bottle, the eye drop bottle, you can put the honey there and put some zemzem inside. Now put it in the eyes. Or easier, just take your finger and rub it. Your eyes are going to change color. But when the thing goes down, you will see that. Another one is putting black seed in your eyes. That one is even. There was a person who had glaucoma. I went to see him, and he's a professor. So I put black seed in his eyes, and hot water started coming out of his eyes. Hot water. So there's so many things. As to UT, he said use black seed for hair problem. A conseti. So these are things to everyone to share. But at the end of the day, alhamdulillah, can only cure infection. Yes. Certain kind of infection. Yes. It can cure infection. And I mentioned University of Colorado. There was a doctor, Dr. Sakem. He did this. He put honey in beakers of typhus, which is Salmonella typhi, which is the typhoid, and other bacterium. For the Salmonella typhi, it took 48 hours for the honey to get rid of it. It took 24 hours for the honey to get rid of the other one. So he did it in so many. Now, infection, it depends on the kind of infection. Depends on the kind of infection. But honey can cure the infection. Mostly, it's better for external infections. And if you are thinking honey can cure an infection, you have to, and that is the challenge you have, a continuous supply of original honey. Not you buy here at Balogun tomorrow, you buy at Mile 2 today, you buy at CMS. So, you say, honey oshishe, because the one you bought at CMS is not right, but the one you bought at Balogun is all right. Over shishe die no, tomorrow shishe mo. He says, what are the benefits of rose water? Rose water is good for the eyes. And in the words of Asueti, it's good for the healing of corrupted humus, whatever it means. You know, medicine means that you have 4 humus: black bile, red bile, green bile, then blood. Once one of them is corrupted, there's an imbalance. He said if you use rose water, it will correct the corrupted humus. It will give you overall health. But you can use it a lot for your eye problems with honey. And the Imam said something about the Enyolobe. Yes, it's all over this place. The stone breaker. We can Google it. Stone breaker leaf. Stone breaker. Stone breaker. Ifokuta. Stone. No, gbogbo ewé tí mo ní bíbá yìí sìn. Ibi tábà fẹ́ ṣe ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. We do an environmental scan and we get your own herbs. So these things, the fig, this fig tree is outside. It's outside. That's why I said when I came here and I saw it, I said, Allahu Akbar. This fig tree is outside. Classically, àwọn àfà, pẹ̀lú àwọn àfà, wọ́n máa ń ṣe ẹ̀wà sí wàtínì ni. Tẹ́bá ti dé wàtínì lékè, wọ́n máa ṣe ẹ̀wà ni. Again, àṣé wàtínì wà ń tà. So, that's one. The stone breaker is a miraculous herb. In Asia, it's called Champiera. It deals with the liver, kidney blockages, kidney stones, so much. Even there are so-called, what's this thing they are broadcasting now? Hepatitis. Use a lot of it. But let us do the studies. Because when we do the studies, we'll find out.
What's the recommendation for a child that is diagnosed with progeria, this ailment, that has been said that there's no cure for it?
Well, I have to be honest. I don't know what progeria is. But whoever wrote this, what are the symptoms? What are the symptoms? Yeah? Symptoms of progeria? It's a genetic disease. Okay. No, even when you say genetic disease, I've seen many people, astaghfirullah, the doctor will tell you, if it's a genetic disease, it's either you do a stem replacement, or it's genetic, so you cannot change it. And that's why I said we shouldn't go with science. Recently, if you read the medical journals, they are talking about a field called epigenetics. Epi means above genetics. So the medical society now is beginning to believe that many diseases that we thought were genetic are not genetic. That diseases can be changed by environmental factors, i.e., his father has high blood pressure. The son has high blood pressure. Now, the grandchild is about to have high blood pressure. But if he changes environmental circumstances and blah, 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 he will not have high blood pressure. So people, the medical community now, and you could Google that, is actually coming away from genetics. My own genetical belief is ma anzalallahu min dahin ila anzalallahu dawaman aw shifahan. The Prophet Muhammad said there is no disease that cannot be cured, that Allah has not sent down a cure for. However, we should not be just user end. You know, they say Africans, we are user end. Just go and bring Toyota so you can be using it. We also have to get into research. The answer is out there. But unfortunately, it's a lot of research and development. It costs millions. I was doing a research 2 months ago at Umrah on the Abu Zal Ghifari thing. It used 40 days. And I went to the Umrah with the intention that I'm going to use 2 days. And I told my wife was there and some other people there. If something happens to me, I'm doing an experiment. So I didn't eat for 2 days, 48 hours. I was just drinking Zamzam. And there are some things I observed. So, what I would rather say is, you see, I can't tell you I have all the answers. But I can tell you that the more we strive together to make research into these fields, the more we'll be able to cure these diseases. Because we know that there's no incurable disease. To the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu AIDS is curable, cancer is curable by the hadith of the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu.
Jazakumullah khair. It's time for Salat. Let's quickly listen to the final question, inshallah.
My question is on honey. You have been emphasizing on getting original honey. How do we know whether if honey is the original? Because we have different honey, and everybody we have honey being put in the corridor of one's house. How do we know this?
Thank you. That's a very, very topical issue. One, to get the way I believe, I have a product. It's a combination of about honey, black seed, ginger, turmeric, white coconut oil, cedar leaves, like so many things. Yes, my product. This is my product. Now the point is, in order to make this product effective, I have to get the original of each of the constituents of the product. So what I did for honey, and I have videos of that, I had to go into the bush along Cameroon and Nigeria. And looking for honey is not that's why honey is expensive. You know, you can get killed looking for honey. If the bees sight you and you don't have protection, they can sting you to death. And I've been on a Okada running from bees, and they're making, can you imagine that feeling? If they catch you, Stephanie. So, what we have to do for honey, and I believe this, number one, we have to invest in more honey production. We are getting urbanized. Nobody's going into this. That is one. Number two, there are ways of the viscosity. The best test is to go to a lab. The second best test is a water test. Honey has a heavier constituent than water. Now take some water, drop honey into it, leave it for 5 to 10 minutes, and see whether it evaporates. If it becomes colored and that is not real honey. But however, it is not 100% test. It's a good test. What I do is when I produce my products, there's a way I know with balancing everything that if this honey is not right, and that has cost me about 400,000 before. If the honey is not okay with all those constituents, what I find out is that the container will swell up. The gas inside it, there's supposed to be some minimal gas inside it. But the gas inside it is so big that it will destroy the container on the long run. And I know, oh, this honey is fermented. So it's a big problem, my brother. But we did a course online at one time showing different tests for honey. There's an online thing. We got people and we did that test and we showed them videos on ways they can recognize real honey. Even sometimes if you're into honey, by smell, you can actually get the real honey. Jazakumullahu khairan.
Jazakumullah khaira. May Allah reward our ustaz abundantly. Barakallahu fihi wa fi ilmihi. Need a lot of people to really go into this aspect of medicine. We want a situation whereby this kind of thing can be documented, can be studied in the university. As people study the Orthodox medicine, we can study the Islamic medicine. So it's going to be a good alternative for us because natural things are generally cheap and more effective. But the problem is dosage, because a lot of people are into this thing too because they can see that many people are in need of it. So many people claim to have this knowledge, but you don't know how to get them certified. So we need this thing to be well documented and also to be formalized so that it can be studied in the universities. Those who go for medicine can also study this aspect of Islamic medicine, and it will bring out the beauty of our religion and also the greatness of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah bless each and every one of us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be with us. Remove all our ailments. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala remove our worries and bless us and bless our families. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. سبحانك اللهم ربنا بحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.